Greetings, everybody, and welcome back to Refugee to Industrial Regent. This episode is going to start with a time lapse because I need to redo my docks district, and I'm starting here by redoing the actual dock itself. And I'm starting by moving the dock platform out a few blocks. Of course, that's my initial test to see if I've got, a viable width for the dock. And come to find out that my first draft was too narrow. So now I'm moving the wool blocks back another block. And at this point, the channel is 3 wide. The old channel was 5 wide. And as you can see, I successfully pulled my boat in. And so I've elected to use this width, and thus those platform positions, for the actual dock. Now what I'm doing here is building up a little tower that I will use for my staircase. I went with a circular tower with a diameter of 7 blocks. And now I have to fight off a zombie horde. Yes, I am considering certain achievements in combat to be worthy of victory monuments and triumphs. No, this is not an example of such an accomplishment. Alright, but as you can see, I've got the tower sort of laid out. I've set up my scaffolding so that I can get up and down between the base of the dock and the pathway to Byzantium. What I need to do here is actually figure out how I'm going to lay out the stairs. I also went ahead and deleted the rest of the walls. They were in the wrong place. And now I'm deleting even more of the walls that are in the wrong place. And now here I am building the actual stairway itself. And there's the stairway. And now I'm just making sure I can get up and down. This is a little bit of a block at the top, just to make sure I don't accidentally go too far, end up going too high, and fall back onto the lower tier. More deletion of walls that are in the wrong place, and replacement with walls that are in the correct place. And admittedly, part of this is obscured by the path to Byzantium. And now at this point, I'm opting to actually complete the tower itself. I'm also sorting out the pathway so that I have a somewhat consistent look. And now yes, here I am taking care of that wall, the far wall there, and sorting out the roof for the lower section of the dock, which will be flat. I seem to have a thing for flat roofs, mostly because they're really easy to build. And I am just making my way back from the storehouse. I can't remember what I ran to the smeltery for. But at this point, the roof is being completed. You can see some of the torches being placed inside, or rather the lighting effects of those torches. Now here I am putting a roof on the stairway tower. And unlike the rest, I've gone for a slight bit of depth with this roof. Not a lot, but a little bit. Now here I am cleaning things up so that I can put an iron doorway in the middle of the path. And there's the iron doors. I've got buttons on the dock side and pressure plates on Byzantium side. There I am replacing the portal there on the old portal with 2 simple support columns. Now I'm taking care of the rest of the the pathway, making sure it has a consistent appearance. And now we move on to the rest of the Harbor District. With the new dock complete, I now have 4 structures here right in a row that I'm going to be completing in a single time lapse. From left to right, they are the blacksmith shop based around the smelter I built last episode. Next to that is the new workshop, and you can actually see a little bit of the new floor there, where I've also gone ahead and moved the Tinker's Construct workbenches. To the right of the workshop is the new granary, and to the right of the granary is the new storehouse. And to the right of the storehouse is a zombie that was bobbing up and down in the water. But as you can see, I'm going with a stone-like material for the basic edging of the smeltery house. For the simple reason that I don't want to use any wood. It is relying a bit on fire, so wood and fire, yeah, consequences are not so good for that. So stone all the way for this building. And as you can see, I'm now taking care of the floor. I apologize, this needs to be partially obscured by the frame. Right, and that's the pathway in. And now the back walls, the side walls, the front wall, and the wall to the workshop, which I am leaving a opening to simply because I want to be able to move freely between the smeltery and the workshop. I've also gone ahead and dug up the rest of the floor in the workshop. Well, most of the rest of the floor. I might have 1 or 2 blocks left over. But at any rate, that was the pathway in. And yes, I do have a nasty habit of forgetting things in my storehouse. And unfortunately, all of my stuff is still at the old storehouse. The new storehouse has not yet been built. But as you can see, the walls have now gone in. The spruce wood frame. No fire here in the workshop, so I can get away with spruce for the frame. Now, I'm going here to finish roofing the smeltery. Don't want water to get into the forge. Now I light up the rest of the roof. Et voila. And now a half slab roof over the workshop. This kind of roof does not require lighting. Mobs do not spawn on half slabs. And now I'm gathering materials for, I believe it's the granary I build next. Yep, and there's the back wall of both granary and storehouse. The support columns. Et voila. Now the side wall, the front baseboard, and I've gone fairly simple with the backing for the chest area. It's just plain oak wood. By having a 1 block gap between the chest and the back wall, I leave room for that wooden backboard. Alright, and you can see I've placed down some chests in the granary. I've also gone ahead and started building support columns. I'm also putting wooden steps to sort of obscure the top of the granary. I'll do the same in the storehouse. But it also allows me to give the look of a full block without it actually being a full block, and therefore obstructing use of the top layer of chests. Yes, that is me planting some trees. I felt I would need some more oak wood to finish this build. Right, as you can see, I've got a bunch of barrels that I've gone ahead and placed on the back wall. 27 on the back wall for the storehouse, and 5 to start up the granary. And there's me cutting down the first trees that grew. And then I used those to build more barrels. And now I'm actually starting to put some stuff in the barrels. Really, the rest of the build at this point is a combination of actual building and moving stuff from between old and new storehouses. Or at least starting to move stuff between old and new storehouses. It will be a few episodes before everything is moved over. Spoiler alert. Although not really, because it doesn't get shown on camera. As you can see, there's a big oak tree that grew there. And in the meanwhile, I am more worried. Well, there I am cutting down the oak trees. And taking care of putting stuff up. And now, back to the granary. I've got the back wall or rather the right side wall of the granary built. It's also going to be the left side wall of the storehouse. And it will serve as a full wood backing. And once again, I have a giant tree. This one actually obscures part of the storehouse. I've placed a few more barrels in the granary. I felt I would need them. Now I'm putting tops over the barrels, adding 12 more to the storehouse for a total of 39, while the granary has a total of 21, if memory serves me right. And there I am cutting down the oak trees that grew. If I recall correctly, that gave me quite a bit of wood. Yeah, and I've got a little bit of an unwieldy exit. A single gate serves as the only entrance and exit from the tree farm. As you can see, I've laid down the bottom row of chests in the storehouse. And yes, I'm starting to put some things in the chests. And yes, I am running back and forth between the storehouse and the old and new storehouses to try to move some things over during this live stream. Populating some wood in the back row of barrels, putting some things in chests as appropriate. And now I actually finish building up the granary with the ceiling support columns and the stairs that serve as the topping. And now I'm taking care of the middle wall of the storehouse, and again with the ceiling beams and the stairs again. More materials at the old storehouse. And if I can remember where I was. Okay. Now I'm building the right-hand side wall, complete with all of its support columns, and stairs, and ceiling columns. And now one last run back to the old storehouse for a combination of things to put in chests in the new storehouse and materials for the roof of the new storehouse. And now, here I am on the roof, laying down the flat roof. It is a little bit of work, more frankly than I could do live in a first-person view, hence the decision to do this as a time-lapse. Now, having covered the beams, I have some holes in the roof to fill in. And with the last of the holes sorted out, the ceiling is complete, and the completion of the roof completes the storehouse and time-lapse. Alright, I am back, and I have one permissive rule of cool for this stage, and I'm going to craft the materials that will allow me to take advantage of it. I am allowing 2 blocks that would otherwise not be permitted this stage. But in order to do that, I have to start off with these machine frames from thermal expansion. And I'm going to go ahead and craft myself 3 of these pneumatic servos. Alright, I'm going to make my way back over to my new storehouse here. No, that was not quite right. There we go. 2 of those. 2, 3, 4, 5. And 6 tin. Will allow me to finish crafting these 2 items. Now, if I can remember the recipe for a piston, there we go. And a bucket. Now, I'll start with the bucket, put the machine frames in the middle, the pneumatic servos on the bottom, tin next to the pneumatic servos, glass next to the machine frames. 1 with the bucket gets me an aqueous accumulator, one of 2 blocks that I will allow for this stage. The other block is the igneous extruder, and I'm allowing 2 of these. So we're going to start with the aqueous accumulator. I'm going to go ahead and lay it there, and it's going to collect water. Really, it's that simple. Now I'm going to make my way over here. I think I put 2 of these better barrels down the chest here. I have these sunken stone panels. Let me think, what else was there? I've got buckets of lava, which is fine for the time being. Alright. One other thing that may or may not be legal, I'm using Rule of Cool to ensure that it is legal. And I'm not going to do too much with this stage. I'm going to go ahead and make these opaque fluid ducts. Alright. Now I'm going to go ahead and put down the 2 barrels. I'm going to go ahead and put the 2 igneous extruders down. I'm going to check their configurations. They should both be set to output to the bottom. Now I'm going to make sure the one on the left is configured to make cobblestone. The one on the right will be configured to make smooth stone. I'll go ahead and put 1 bucket of lava in each, and that's enough lava to run both of these extruders forever. And finally, oh yeah, I missed a rather critical step here. I'm going to go ahead and, put the stone bricks on top like so. Now I need to run down near my dock because that's the only good source of water I have in Byzantium at this point. Changing that is probably going to be a stage objective. I mean, even if the official rules don't require it, I use enough water that I could probably justify having a dedicated source within Byzantium. While I walk inside the workshop, what I need to do is on the outside. Let's go and put these opaque fluid ducts up. Take these stone bricks like so. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and destroy these 2 cobblestone here. Like so. Go up to the second layer. Et voila. Now the aqueous accumulator is filling up with water, and it's draining about as quickly as it's filling at this point in time. That should change before too much longer, I would hope. Yeah, as you can see, we've got this one with cobblestone completely full of water. This one is nearly full. Wow. And we're still using up water about as fast as we can produce it. have to admit, that's a little bit astonishing. Because we're still not actually building up any sort... Oh, wait, there we go. Now we're starting to build up a little bit of a backlog of water. And that's actually good. That's what I want. Alright. So what I'm going to do is set that up like so. And I'll have to remember to get a roof on it. I might have materials in the storehouse here to make the roof. Let me check. I only have half of it. Let's go ahead and put the cobblestone up. I'm also going to go ahead and put the glass up for the moment. And yeah, I'll use this as a mist chest for the moment. Just put my fluid ducts there. Now I'm going to run over to my old storehouse. And that's going to be a second rule of cool stage requirement. Everything moved out of the old storehouse and into the new storehouse. And I can actually start with that by emptying that chest there and bringing all its materials over here. Use what I need for this little roof and put the rest in a chest. I've got a bit of organization to do, and you'll notice I don't have all of the chests I need set up just yet. Alright, there we go. That's the roof, and it is a mob-proof roof in the sense that mobs don't spawn on stairs or slabs. So now I just pick a chest. This one will work for the moment. Or, actually, wasn't I going to use this one? Yeah. Not those. Leave those out for the moment. Go ahead and put up the buckets. Go ahead and grab myself 3 stacks of oak wood planks. And now I just need to finish the structure here. And in order to do that, I just need to finish the floor. And I'll start by digging up the dirt here with the excavator. The excavator makes it nice and easy to dig up all this floor. There we go. Alright. Make my way to the back here. And then just dig up towards the front. Et voila. Now I'm going to start with the entryway, which will be these aligned cobblestone bricks. Yes, I did have to use the chisel mod to make those. And we'll fill the interior floor with wood. And over here, more of the aligned cobblestone bricks. And more of the wooden planks. There we go. Excuse me. Anyway, alright. I think that's my third and last stack. And thankfully, that much is very nearly done. Now, I do want to clean up underneath here a little bit. And it's going to be slightly tricky in that I need to actually get my shovel. And actually, let me get my excavator out of the way, just to make things just a little bit easier. There we go. Et voila. There's 4. And I'm probably going to go ahead and finish this off camera. And with that, I think I've hit a good wrapping up point. So I will see you next time, everybody.